Mr. Paul Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. I was not going to do another one, but then I saw this. And let me check my sound. Give me 1 second. I am seeing green. And I am good. My sound is good. Good. Yeah, I wasn't going to do another one. And I'm sitting down just kind of looking through Twitter, and I see this. Is Joe Biden a sexual predator? Now, just so I'm clear, I'm not laughing at the sexual predator part. I'm laughing at other parts of this. Let me see if I can show this story. So this is True Pundit. And by the way, I asked this as a question because we don't necessarily know the answer to this, but I do want to go through the story. Exclusive. Former Joe Biden Secret Service agent. We had to protect women from him. Weinstein level stuff. Weinstein level stuff. Cassandra Fairbanks. Yeah, Cassandra Fairbanks. Now, I've read through this, and I thought to myself, Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe. Creepy Uncle Joe. I tell my wife, I said, hey, Joe Biden has been out there perving women in Congress and in the White House. And she says, you already knew that. You already knew that. Now, I am doing this story for two reasons. One reason is honestly less honorable than the other. But I'm going to do the story anyway, because this is out, and so it's going to be talked about at some point. The less honorable reason, by the way, has to do with this idea of Joe Biden as being the other candidate. Like the person who's going to oppose Bernie Sanders. The establishment's choice to head off Sanders. Joe Biden. Uncle Joe. Immediately after the presidential talk came out, that Joe Biden may be the candidate to run in 2020, or may be running in the primaries, also out came the knives. And one of those knives, Joe Biden is a sexual predator. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, let's read through this. Now, I would say for myself, I've seen Joe Biden in situations that were slightly creepy. I've seen him in those situations. The problem for Joe Biden is that whether this is true or not, because we don't know if it's true at all. This, like I said, this could be a knife. This could be a political knife. Whether it is true or not is slightly besides the point. This is out there to damage him. But Joe Biden also has to deal with this thing of reality. Meaning people's perception of reality. Not necessarily reality itself. There's a difference in those things, even though sometimes that difference doesn't matter one iota. If the perception is that Joe Biden is out there macking women left and right and touching women inappropriately and being the creepy uncle, if that's the perception, then it doesn't matter what Joe Biden says about it. The perception is going to be fulfilled based upon the stories that come out about it. People will lean themselves to believe something, not necessarily because it's true, but they may dislike you, in which case they're going to believe it, and then not necessarily going to waste the time to figure out context. Or they may just outright believe it because they have a perception of you that has nothing to do with the politics of it. They just have a perception of you. Oh, that guy's a perv. That guy's a perv. A story comes out, fulfills their beliefs of the world. See, I knew that guy was a perv. I saw that guy macking that 14-year-old. I knew that guy was a perv. Uncle Joe, my ass. That type of stuff. So let's read the story. Let's talk about Uncle Joe. Exclusive. Former FBI secret agent. Former Secret Service agent. We had to protect women from him. Weinstein level stuff. Weinstein level stuff. That's the part that trips me out. A former Secret Service agent assigned to the Vice President Joe Biden residence claims that the service often had to protect female agents from Joe Biden. Speaking on the condition of anonymity, the agent asserted that We had to cancel the VP Christmas get-together at the vice president's house because Biden would grope all of our wives and girlfriends' asses. The annual party was for agents and Navy personnel who were tasked with protecting the Biden family. He would mess with every single woman or teen. It was horrible, the agent said. According to the source, a Secret Service agent once got suspended for a week in 2009 for shoving Biden after he cupped his girlfriend's breasts while the couple was taking a photo with him. The situation got so heated, the source tells Big League that others had to step in to prevent the agent from hitting Vice President. Biden was going to get knocked the fuck out for touching somebody's wife. Wow, that's amazing. Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. Let's see if we can show this. I want you to see what I am seeing on this particular picture. In fact, I'm sorry guys, give me 1 second. I want to show this. Alright. Let's see. Alright, so we're right here. Oh man, this is awesome. He said that the men on duty would frequently stand in front of female agents and Navy women that were present like a damn guardian. On some occasions, they would make up reasons to get the women away from where he was going. The agent said he was specifically concerned about women in the Navy. They weren't allowed to disobey him at all, but we'd take them away under pretend auspices, the agent stated. The official vice president residence is in Queen Anne Style House at One Observatory Circle in Washington, D.C., which is located on the northeast grounds of the U.S. Navy Observatory. The property is maintained and cared for by the service branch. Best-selling author Ron Kessler wrote about Biden's problem with female agents in his book, The First Family Detail. Agent said that whether at the vice president's residence or at his home in Delaware, Biden has a habit of swimming in the pool nude. You swim nude. Kessler wrote, female Secret Service agents find that offensive. Find it offensive. This human body, man, what's there to find offensive? It's just wanting stuff to hang out. He would only get naked when Jill was absent, he added. Oh, stick that knife in him. Stick that knife in him. That's awesome. It's just making the point. It's like, look, he would only do this when his wife wasn't present. He would get naked in front of the female agents and go for a swim. Look, what's the word I'm looking for? What is it? So, along came a spider, sat down beside her, scared Miss Muffet away. The spider wasn't doing anything. The spider was just hanging out. I would say Joe Biden would probably just say, come on, man. It's the human body. It's the human body. I'm in a suit all day. I like to let him hang out sometimes. And it's just so happened I like to let him to hang out and drop when the female agents are around and my wife is not present. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Biden has long been criticized for his contact with women and girls in photos and videos, and was even referred to as a creepy Uncle Joe Biden by the Washington Post. Well, if the Washington Post says it has to be true. Yeah, let's take a look at this too. If they're going to stick a knife in him, let's let them stick a knife in him all the way.
Spread your legs, you're going to be frisked. Drop your hands. You say that to somebody in North Dakota, they think it's a frisk. Drop. And then you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of your office and home which you're about to enter, so help you God. I have no doubt. Heading up to Capitol Hill now to swear in new members and old members of the United States Senate. And as Vice President, it's one of the great opportunities I have. I love the United States Senate. It was a collegial place. It has many friends in the Republican Party as a Democratic Party. And today is a really special day.
Thanks to give out here, first and foremost, to my perfect wife, Stephanie, my wonderful son, Will, and my daughter, Ava, already mentioned.
just one point. If Joe Biden had his hands on Miss Thomas like that, yeah, I would have punched Joe Biden out. Joe Biden he's like my perfect wife, and Joe Biden just feeling her up. Oh, you do have a perfect wife. You do have a perfect wife. Let's keep going. Joe Biden is getting a little creepy. Let's keep going.
Hey, Charlie, give me like this smile.
I need a hug. Come on. I need a hug. God, it's your reputation. What I like most is getting to see their children, their parents, particularly their moms and dads. When I reenact the swimming in the old swimming chamber, where their whole families are able to be there and stand with them as I reenact the swearing in. It's a moment of real joy. It has nothing to do with Republican and Democrat. It has to do with having the opportunity to actually join the single most important legislative body in the world. And it is an enormous honor. I served there for a long time, but I consider myself a senator. So it's good to be going back, and it's good to be able to perform this function. I am not doing this.
Yes, you are. A smart job. Constitutionally required.
Here's the thing. Yeah, that's the end of it. All right. So here's the thing. When you're reading stuff like this, like I said, part of it is politics, to be honest. But part of it is I wanted to talk about the story. Now, Joe Biden comes out and says, all right, Joe Biden is going to be running as the anti-Bernie. And maybe Joe Biden didn't say it, but other people were putting Joe Biden up as like the anti-Bernie. Bernie Sanders himself said he wanted to run in 2020 because he believed that it was his turn. And an odd twist of events that ultimately he believed that he earned his shot to run. And importantly, he didn't want Joe Biden to take it. He didn't want Joe Biden to take it. Fair enough. Fair enough. So Joe Biden, a knife has now come off of Joe Biden. Here's the thing. Whether Joe Biden is this pervy guy that they're talking about or not, I have no idea. They should have just went all the way with it. Joe Biden peed on somebody. Go all the way. Don't go all the way. Him swimming in the pool naked is more comical than anything else. I don't know if it's true. Who knows? And that particular thing doesn't necessarily show the fact that it's true or not. It shows Joe Biden is uncomfortably touchy-feely. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I mean, if he's doing this in person, I would imagine he's doing the same thing in private. I had a friend of mine, and the reason why I'm giving Joe Biden the benefit of the doubt on this, kind of, is because I've had a friend of mine who was extraordinarily touchy-feely. And Kitty, if you notice in that, he was like that with all of them. It didn't matter who it was. Like, he was uncomfortably close to each and every one of them, whether it was women, whether it was Hillary Clinton, whether they were older, whether they were younger, whether they were large, whether they were thin. Now, either Joe Biden just loved women all the way around, and that may be true. That may be perfectly true. Joe Biden mentions, I love women. I just love women. I don't care who it is. Or Joe Biden may just be that uncomfortably close to pretty much, that's the way he is. I have no idea which. I have no idea which. Reading that story, you look at that and said, maybe. Baby. Now, not just that video, just our interaction with Joe Biden at all, in general. But there's no way to know. That could just be a hit piece. Yeah, I had a friend of mine, Kenny. He was the type, he was a chess player. He was one of the guys we used to play chess with. And it wasn't enough to shake hands and say hi. It was, I'm touchy-feely. He was a married man. He wasn't gay by any stretch of the imagination. But he'd be like, oh, dude, too close. Too close. I need my space cushion. That was the way he operated. That was the way his brain worked. He would do that to guys. It didn't necessarily matter. He would do that to women, and there was a problem. There was a problem. Now, from their perspective, he's, oh my God, he's molesting me. And you got to make the point, he does that to all of us. He does that to all of us. It's not you. It's not you. It's a gorgeous wife. It's not you. He molests men also. I don't know if Joe Biden is a sexual predator. I would say Joe Biden is, at the very least, he gets uncomfortably close. I'll put it that way. He gets uncomfortably close, pulling people together in the way that it does. And it does come across as creepy. So yeah, let's be honest. But whether this piece is true or not, this could totally just be a hit piece. This may not be true in the least. It may not be true in the least. But that being said, I'm giving the story in a way. People have been bringing out these things with sexual allegations. It's a little weird to have an anonymous source come out and say, hey, anonymously, yes, the guy was a pervert. The guy was a pervert. Anonymously. No, you're not going to be able to impeach my identity or my credibility. I'm saying this from the shadows. It's like, come on. Come on. This story is going to get out. It's going to get airplay. I don't necessarily know if they're going to give the context to say, hey, maybe this guy wasn't necessarily telling the truth, or maybe this was a hit piece. I don't know. So I'm going to do the story myself. Ambiguity. And I'll suspect this idea that Joe, the creepy uncle, if you wanted to take a shot at Joe Biden, this would be the way to do it. Play into what people already think of him. So yeah. August Cybernaut. Joe Biden is using his body to make everyone uncomfortable. Yeah, that's my point. That's my point. Jay Scott. So I can grope women as long as I grope men too. Yeah. You would at least be consistent. Yes. You'd at least be consistent. August Cybernaut. It gets naked with women when his wife isn't around. Well, yeah, that part goes a little much. But I'm making the point that we don't know if that's true. That's the point I'm getting at. That could be a hit piece. Now, that being said, it could also be true. Joe Biden could be skinny dipping with his wife not around. That's the part that I think is more funny than anything else. It's like, it's a very specific thing. Joe Biden goes swimming naked, but only when his wife is not around. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's fucking hilarious. If women start coming out about Joe Biden, oh man. It's one thing for some random guy in the shadows to say that Joe Biden has done XYZ. That's one thing. It's another thing for the people themselves to say, I was mentally uncomfortable around Joe Biden. He kept putting his hands on me, etc., etc., etc. Yeah. Rob Illinois. Jamal Smash hold Joe Biden on his atrocious bill. He voted for NAFTA. DOMA. Yeah. You already know how I feel about these guys. This is very specific to Joe Biden being a pervert. What if woman was that touchy? Like everybody she hugs takes a booty dive. And look, let me make a distinction here, just so we're clear. Kenny wasn't groping anybody from the standpoint of grabbing their ass or anything. The story is that Joe Biden is. There's a difference in those things. I'm saying that people used to get uncomfortable even with him just hugging and grabbing on him. This is a little different. I mean, they're trying to make this case that Joe Biden is out there groping women's asses and grabbing boobs and whatnot. So much so one of the agents almost whipped Joe Biden's ass. So yeah, that's a different animal. That's a different animal. And if Joe Biden is doing that, oh man, that is gross. The point I'm making is because of the perception of Joe Biden, it becomes easier to believe that, whether it's true or not. That's my point. That's my point. He's running against other people's reality at this point. Again, Joe has been traumatized by family deaths. Some people who experience this become overly affectionate. That's interesting, Gardnome. I can't tell if you're being serious or not right there. Family deaths don't allow you to grope. They don't allow you to grope. DMar, not enough to eliminate him. He's still a Democratic Party saint next to Bill and Hillary. Throw in Kamala Harris for backup and he's golden. Oh, you mean running Kamala Harris is like a vice president with Joe Biden as president? I don't know, man. If sexual allegations wasn't enough to take down Trump. So that's a fair point. If you have a bunch of women coming out, however, saying Joe Biden touched him inappropriately, Joe Biden groped them, Joe Biden grabbed his ass, etc., yeah, that would be enough. That would be enough. There's no way. Not in the Democratic Party. You can do that in the Republican Party. You can't do that as a Democrat. And I know Bill Clinton, but Bill Clinton's stuff wasn't out like that. It wasn't out like that. Garno, I am serious. JT, is the difference is that Joe Biden is all out in the open. Yeah, that's true. Groping asses is unacceptable, but I haven't seen that. No, that's true. Right. I'm agreeing. That's what I'm saying. It's one thing for them to say he's doing this stuff, but Biden knows that. I mean, they came out with the article. That article looks like a hit piece. The question becomes, is it true? Somebody, taking a blade out from the shadows, sticking to Joe Biden a week after Joe Biden is talking about running for the presidency. It's like, come on, this is politics. Now the question becomes, is it true? That's all that matters. Is it true? No, I'm sorry, that's not all that matters. The politics of it matters, meaning, does it get traction with all the stories that are coming out now and, everything else? And here's another thing. Even if it's false, if somebody comes out behind it saying, hey, I was groped by Joe Biden, the person who was groped might be true, even though the story itself, it's starting this all the ball rolling, may be false. Politics is fucking fascinating. Like, there may have been no inciting incident. Think of it from the perspective of, one person comes out, then another person, then 3 people, then 5 people, and you're like, holy shit, this guy's been doing this for the past 20 years. What if there is no inciting event for them people to come out? Somebody comes out with a hit shot on Joe Biden because they just say Joe Biden looks like the guy who may have done something like that. And then a woman comes out, Joe Biden grabbed my ass. Joe Biden touched my breasts. Joe Biden masturbated in his plant. All sorts of weird stuff. Whatever. Politics, man. Politics is blood sport. You heard me say before, politics is blood sport. That is totally blood sport. It's all too possible. It's a hit piece. Yeah, agreed. The nation is in a bizarre sexual assault frenzy and is obsessed with the topic. Agreed. Garnome, you and I are like mine. Like, it's this thing of, it could be a hit piece, but at the same token, but there's no way to know. Which is the power of a hit piece. Like, the bluntness of a hit piece is that I can't believe people will believe this, but at the same token, it's like that doubt is lingering. That doubt is in your head somewhere. It's like, there's no evidence, but shit, man, it's Joe Biden. It becomes this weird thing. It sucks. But yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. Is Joe Biden a pervert? Who knows? But the person who wrote this piece, oh man, they put out a knife. They totally pull out a knife. The question isn't if it's true. The question is it believable. That is the optics. Yeah, great. August not. Yeah, great. Agreed. You heard me say politics and reality are different things. They're different things. Dax, I will put Joe Biden before an international court. I am not engaging in apologetics. Robert Pouquet, I thought being a Speedo guy was bad, but the dude doesn't even, he does it naked. Yeah, he says, fuck the Speedo. He said, why leave it up to imagination? I'm Joe Biden. I'm the vice president. Yeah. Masturbating into a plant. Where does that come from? Gardening? Turn-ons? No, Dax, the Weinstein thing. So, one of the cases for Weinstein said he came on to a woman turned him down, and he told her to stay put while he masturbated in a plant. And it's like, what did the plant do? Why are you sexually assaulting the plant because the woman didn't let you sexually assault her? That's amazing. I don't know how a guy does that with a woman that's scornful of him. Like, A, you have to get it up. That's the first part. B, in addition to getting it up, you're getting it up with another human being looking at you, not just turned off by you, but in this weird emotional state of, oh my God, this guy's masturbating in a plant. Like, yeah, that was a Weinstein thing. That one blew me away. That was shocking to me, I gotta be honest. That was shocking to me. Jeremy Poblinsky, the frenzy is probably because sexual assault happens way too often. Yeah, and I suspect that, yeah. Louis C.K. apparently masturbated onto something else in front of someone too. That shit is mega fucking weird. How is that something guys think to do? Trematone. Yeah, I don't get that one either. Yeah, I don't get that one. That seems... I suppose somebody could have in their head all sorts of sexual fetishes. And I suppose there is the odd occurrence of a sexual fetish where a person masturbates in front of someone who doesn't want to see him masturbate in front of them. That is, yeah, I don't know where that one comes from. I don't know where that one comes from. No clue. No clue. Ew, Plant didn't order a protein shake. No, it did not. Hey, stand in front of me. Obviously uncomfortable. It has to be some sort of power trip. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. Otherwise, it just doesn't seem like it would be... Yeah, that has to be a power trip. I just have a hard time believing that's purely about sex. That has to be a power trip. Gardner agreed, Dax. I have no love for Biden, but I have seen no evidence of sexual assault. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. He's a little pervy, but I have not seen him sexual assault anybody until somebody comes out saying Joe Biden did X. I'm not going to believe it. It sounds like a hit job to me. How can Gardner get aroused by Deborah Wasserman Schultz? There's just accounting for people's kinks. Yeah, D-Martin, yeah, everybody has their own kinks. Everybody has kinks. I can't help it, it's a shrewish tone. Yeah. When she's kind of scornful, it's kind of sexy. I agree. Biden is about poolside transparency. Poolside transparency, that's awesome. Is that what we're calling? I love that. Is that what we're calling skinny dipping in front of a woman that doesn't want to see you naked? Poolside transparency. I love that. I love that. That needs to be on a t-shirt. I'm into poolside transparency. That's awesome. I don't know how Robert Pouquet, right-wingers trying to defend their pedos and Weinsteiners. So you think it's somebody sticking a shiv in him in order to defend Weinstein, essentially, like, hey, or what's the other guy? Moore. It's like, you have your pedophiles, and hey, you have your own pedophiles. Yeah, maybe two birds with one stone. I'm curious about... Look, this doesn't have to come from the right wing, you know. Like, this doesn't... I'm even slightly skeptical this is coming from the right wing. It's possible. If... Let me say it this way. Joe Biden comes out and says he's going to run in the primaries. Great. Is there an incentive for somebody who's on Team Sanders to put out a hit piece on Joe Biden? The answer, of course, is yes. There is an incentive for somebody on Team Sanders to put out a hit piece on Joe Biden. Particularly when Joe Biden is coming out as being the anti-Sanders. Is it possible that the skirmishes that are taking place on the left, not necessarily this thing where the right is trying to defend itself? It's possible. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It is possible. And Gateway Pundit, I don't know if Gateway Pundit is a left-wing or right-wing site. And for that matter, Big League Politics, and I don't know if Big League Politics is left-wing or right-wing or like lefty. But it does have a logic to it that if Joe Biden is coming out as an anti-Sanders and you want there not to be an anti-Sanders, would you stick a shiv in Joe Biden? Yes, you would stick a shiv in Joe Biden. Yes, you would. Yes, you would. It's like, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. It's right wing. It's a right wing site. Okay. It was a good theory. It was a good hypothesis. Well, you know, Democrats lead with their values. Yeah. Yes, they do. When somebody tells me what those values are, we can make some progress. If Joe runs this narrative, it's going to go into overdrive. The grabby nature looks really bad, and people are going to the mob over. Yeah. I mean, they're hitting him with this already. Again, whether it's true or not is besides the point. it's true is besides the point. You fulfill those perfect example, Donald Trump. Donald fucking Trump. During the race, Donald Trump has an interview. And he's in that interview, he wants to be conciliatory towards Russia. Now, whatever reason you think he wants to be that way, whether business dealings or whatever, he does want to be conciliatory towards Russia. He didn't necessarily want to have this conflict with Russia. Now, that got him a lot of votes because people looked at it and says, he's not a maniac. He's not going to be a neocon like the Democrat. Haven't times changed? He's not going to be a neocon like the Democrat. Now, granted, that was somewhat of a lie because he's trying to hit Iran. But at the very least, in the very specific case of Russia, whether it's self-interest, whether there's some other reason, I don't care. He wants to be conciliatory towards Russia. God bless. Even one of the questions, they asked him about, Putin, and he was like, you think we're that innocent? Again, that was an honest answer. Whether he was answering honestly because it was in his best interest, or whether he was answering honestly because it was just answering honestly, it might have been somewhere between. It was an honest answer. We are not that innocent ourselves. Why are you acting like these guys are the demons? Do you know what we do around the world? When they lost, when Hillary Clinton lost, what is the narrative they went with? Trump is conciliatory towards Putin. Trump worked with Putin. Trump worked with Putin. There was no evidence for that, by the way. That was made out of whole cloth. Hillary Clinton's team ran with that narrative. The media picked up that narrative and ran with it. Donald Trump, Russia, Russia, Trump, Russia. Trump has something to do with Russia. Russia and Putin were working together. Mind you, they've never shown a link in those things. They've never shown a link in those things at all. And yet, you have a special investigator. You have all of these things that came up. Trump fires Comey. The next investigator comes in. For the most part, is supposedly aligned with, at least more so is, put it this way, is not necessarily the impartial figure that he wants people to believe or that the media is trying to make him seem to be. And it's a very different investigation. At the very least, it feels like a different investigation where they're going for his head. The pretense didn't exist. There was no pretense. At least there wasn't a real one. She lost. She was embarrassed. People are calling her all day. I'm sorry you lost the reality shows. I am so sorry you lost the reality shows. It sucks that you lost the reality shows. Did I tell you that we were sorry you lost the reality shows? You can imagine that she's going to feel some kind of way after getting 4, 5, 8 hours of that. And she's like, I did not lose to a reality show host. It was Russia and Comey. And I need you guys to get out there and explain to people, that I didn't lose on my own devices. It was Russia with a little bit of Comey. Russia and Trump did it. And they ran with that narrative. They ran with the narrative. Now, the narrative gets slippery and sketchy because oftentimes people just say Russia hacked us. I don't know what that means. Do you mean Russia hacked the DNC and leaked information that was true, showing that you guys were corrupt and you guys cheated Bernie Sanders? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean Russia hacked into the elections of the 50 states? Which one is it? Which one is it? And even if that's true, what does that have to do with Donald Trump? You believe that Russia needed to get coordination from Donald Trump if Russia intended to hack the elections. None of this makes sense. If the information that was released was true, which it was, and the public looked at that information and recoiled, which to some degree they did, what does that got to do with Russia? That's on you. That's information that the public needed to know. The public changed its mind when it was given honest information. That's the case that you're making. And again, the fact that the public needed that information and pertained to the election meant that that information should have been in the public in the first place. I don't understand this argument about Russian hacking, to be honest. And truth be told, CrowdStrike was busted. Like, all of this relies on this information gathering from CrowdStrike, which was found to be lacking or wanting at best. FBI never got the servers. It's one issue after the next. They've screamed at the top of their lungs about Russia hacking them. And there's been no link that's been associated between Trump and Russia established, even though there's been an investigation that's been going into Russia and Trump. And not just Trump and Russia, just any and everything having to do with Russia at all. Like, the latitude that Mueller was given in this case is breathtaking. It is breathtaking. The point I'm trying to make here is this is an issue of politics. The reality of it didn't exist. There was no reality. The only reality to it was Hillary Clinton lost. Hillary Clinton screamed Russia. Hillary Clinton, along with the other Democrats, screamed Russia loud enough to get the media involved in this particular process. Democrats got their pretext, was able to push through this kind of a special investigator into the case. There was no there. They just used it to attack Trump. Just making a case. Reality doesn't necessarily need to apply in regards to politics. If the public already has this mindset that Joe Biden is this kind of pervy uncle, then yeah, when Joe Biden runs, they're going to hit Joe Biden in the face with him being a pervy uncle. And they're going to bring up one instance after the next with Joe Biden looking to be touching somebody inappropriately, whether he was doing it or not. It's not going to matter. It's like allow Democrats to sit there and defend Joe Biden being pervy in every conversation that comes up. Hey, you've been cheating on your wife. Hey, you've been touching these women inappropriately. Hey, these allegations have come out about you touching 14-year-olds. What do you have to say about that? That's the do you beat your wife argument. How long have you been beating your wife? What do you mean I've been beating my wife? It doesn't matter whether it's true or not. The allegation of itself is so gross that it tars you with it. It doesn't matter what else comes out of your mouth. Half of the people are going to say, he probably beats his wife. He probably does beat his wife. No evidence has been given. Just the guy beats his wife. He probably beats his wife. They want to think about you. The section of the population that wants to believe it is going to believe it. Truth doesn't matter. Truth doesn't matter. This is politics. I would hug Biden more deeply than he hugged me. There can only be one hugger. I know, right? There can only be one. There can only be one. And it's going to be Robert Pouquet-Ray. Tremolo tone. Sexually assaulting people is wrong. It's even more fucked up to make fake accusations. Agreed. Agreed. I feel that way about calling people sexist also. I feel that way about calling people sexist. Or racist for that matter. It's like those things are real and those things are disgusting when those things happen. You're talking about disenfranchising somebody or disempowering somebody to some degree. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. What makes it more fucked up is to trivialize it. Meaning Democrats running around screaming that everybody is racist and sexist and all this other stuff. Those things actually do exist. And you undermine the argument. You undermine the case when you just make the shit up whole cloth in this way. I don't know if this is made up whole cloth. But certainly we know there are people who make the shit up whole cloth. Oh, this guy's being racist. This guy's being sexist. You're being sexist. You didn't support Hillary Clinton. It's like, come on. They were calling Bernie Sanders sexist because Bernie Sanders had the temerity to be in a race with the first woman running for big office, or the first woman who cheated a major candidate. Yeah, it loses meaning at a certain point. And right-wingers started to have this kind of de facto point because they can always point to the stupid shit that was said either in the primaries about somebody else calling somebody sexist or racist. Yeah, all that stuff. Correct, Jamal. False accusations are backfiring. Yeah, they do. It's like, this guy's sexist. Well, it's like, well, you call Bernie Sanders sexist. How are you saying this other guy's sexist? Why should we believe you? It's a crying wolf. Look, I want to believe people when they make claims like that, but you need evidence. If you're making shit up, you're lessening the impact of these actual fucked up actions have on the people for real. Yes, agreed. DJ Trump gets to tweet, "I told you so." It was a DJ Trump. Oh, that's awesome. Bernie and us. I feel 30% of sexual assault accusations are either a lie or twisted truth. Where did you get that number from? I don't know where you get that number from. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know where you get the number from. We have to let accusations be investigated. Agreed. Hurting innocent people. Even worse than false accusations are trumping the real issues of sexism and racism. Are trumping the real issues. Oh, right. Yeah. They just outweigh it at this point. Like, one party, that's his go-to. Everybody's sexist. Everybody's racist. If you don't vote for us, you're sexist and racist. It's like, come on. You honestly believe everybody is sexist and racist because they're not voting for you? They will say it in a heartbeat. I'm watching you, blue-eyed Santa. I don't know what that means. Mitch tells him, get out, and now the GOP has an issue. Popcorn at the ready. Uh-oh, what happened? What happened? I'm missing something. Mitch tells him to get out, and now the GOP has an issue. Popcorn at the ready. I don't know what you mean, Argonaut. I'm sure he probably did, but it needs to be treated objectively. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, look, when I did the Moore case, I said the same thing. I was like, there's no way to know whether the dude did it. For the most part, you remain ambiguous to the cause. In his case, I was more critical because he gave a non-answer. He was like, why would a woman coming out after 40 years? It's like, yeah, dude, that's not the thing to say. That's not the thing to say. You should have called me out earlier. That's your argument? You should call me out earlier. By contrast, white supremacist narrative cultivated by the DNC or Trump makes Biden touchy-feely transgressions pale. Lesser evil voting prevails. Augur Cybernaut. Mitch Roy. Independent outsider. Pay quality increase in maternity medical care. NIA when needed. I don't know what IA is. J. Scott. McConnell told him to back out. Gardnome. It's blue-eyed devil, Robert. J. Scott. Santa just as white, Megyn Kelly. right. Because Megyn Kelly did that piece about Santa Claus being white. This fictional character is white. God damn it. Was putting out stake in the ground. White people have been backing away for too long. We're keeping Santa. We're keeping Santa. Gardnome. Exactly. D. Biden's mindset is a non-issue. Exactly. D. Biden's mindset is a non-issue. Tribulations. He's just is. Get over it. OMG. He just says what? I mean, we don't know if Biden is guilty on this. GOP will have to resolve the tension between Tea Party Bannon and the old school GOP. Yeah, they will. They will. That's both. That is both. It's... Look, the failure is coming home to roost. They make a lot of light of it in the Democratic Party because, for the most part, Republicans have all the power in the branches of government. But yeah, that's an issue. I mean, think about it. Trump has had the House, the Senate, and the presidency, let alone the Supreme Court. And what have they gotten accomplished? I mean, I know he's doing stuff around the edges, but the big stuff, you would think with that much power within the party, they would be able to get something done. No, they have tension in their party. The Steve Bannons have been screaming at the Paul Ryans and Mitch McConnell's as being globalists. The globalists. We're going to war with the globalists. Yeah, that's been Steve Bannon. The other guys, the old school GOP. Yeah, there's tension. The wild part about it is, to me, those things are so similar that I don't know why there's tension. Like, and I know they would probably say the same about us, just at the other edge of the spectrum. So, he's guilty of making young girls uncomfortable for sure. Lanny DeFasil? Oh man, I'm murdering your name. I'm sorry. Santa is an Arabic lesbian. Who cares? I don't care. It's certainly she cared. This is it's like one of those things of where do you want to draw your battle lines, and do you want to draw your battle lines around this idea of Santa being white? If she wants to push her pawn on an a2, let her push her pawn on a4, I should say. Let her do it. I don't need to get involved. Lana DeFiso, he's guilty of making young girls uncomfortable. Yeah, we said that one. Joe Biden promoted and signed off on non-discharged student loans like Hillary with fracking financially terrorizing 2 generations now. Colleges raise rates exponentially knowing they can't lose. Socks. Abox. Yeah, I'm not voting for Biden. Biden is not my choice in the least. If Biden runs and Biden wins the primaries, Biden is not getting my vote. I'm done with the party, man. Like, it's one of those things where it's very specific in regards to, is this person going to represent my interests or not? But that's slightly different than whether he did it or not. Only thing we can do is wait for it. We can wait for, if any information comes out. Garnum, the whole Santa shit was her pandering to her audience. Oh, I know she doesn't care about Santa. I know. Say it ain't so, Uncle Joe. I know, Uncle Joe. I like Biden, not politically. I like Biden as a colorful figure to me. It's like Ronald McDonald. It's like this slightly clownish figure in the White House. He trips me out. Like even in that interview, it's kind of creepy thing where he's making people uncomfortable. It trips me out like nobody's business. It trips me out. All right, I am going to end this here. I found the story comical, and I wanted to talk about this story because I thought it was fucking hilarious. Whatever happened to Uncle Joe from the comment sections anyway? What do you mean? Oh, you mean Uncle Joe? You mean Uncle Joe got mad at some clip that I did, and he was like, "I'm done. I'm done." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Okay, have at it." Yeah. Uncle Joe left. Uncle Joe said, "I'm done, son." The funny part about it is, it's like you're going around with an avatar of Stalin, and you're calling yourself Uncle Joe. Stalin killed like 20 or 30 million people. How are you getting mad at somebody's saying? It's like, come on. Yep, the dude comments on these vids. Yeah. Uncle Joe's gone, man. Uncle Joe left. Uncle Joe said, "Fuck this." He went to more lefty pastures or something. Yeah. He called it good day. Oh my God, Dirty Joe. Yeah. Joe was a character. He was completely, he was incensed. He was blocked by Jimmy Dore. That's the funniest shit ever. It's odd and funny because Jimmy Dore, it looks like Jimmy Dore makes a habit of getting people to block him. Like he would comment and respond to people so much those people would block him. So it's kind of funny that somebody else was responding him in a way where Jimmy Dore had to block him. Uncle Joe was an interesting guy. He was an interesting guy. I liked him, but he was funny. He was a meme. Yeah, he was a meme. But he used to have the Stalin character. Like that was his avatar. Crazy internet guy, rage quits news. Yeah, he quits. He got pissed. He got mad about something I said. He was like, "I'm done. I'm unsubscribing." He was like, "Okay, I will wait for you at 3 in the morning." Bob Ramirez said, "Democrats are having a dance-off on the deck of the Titanic, hoping it will keep afloat. Good luck with that one. Good luck." I got blocked from Kirk Eichenwald, Joan Walsh, and Will Wheaton. You got blocked by Will Wheaton. What? What you do to Will Wheaton? Okay, dude. Have a good night. Good chat, everybody. Yeah, let's call it a day. All right, guys. I enjoyed this. I always enjoy this. The Eichenwald thing is funny to me. I'm curious about the Will Wheaton. How on earth did you get kicked off by Will Wheaton? Yeah, put in chat. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. If you enjoy the content, feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support through Patreon. Thanks, guys.